Welcome to Liana series of episodes. Today we have the pleasure to host Kevin. Back in 2017, Kevin co-founded the Organization of Young People Committed to Sustainable Development, OJEDD Togo, of which he is the current executive director. OJEDD is a development association which works to bring innovative solutions to the consequences of climate change. It delivers positive impact in Africa's most vulnerable communities. From that point on, OJEDD expanded and got to assemble OJEDD International, which is a network that brings together all OJEDD representatives and branches in more than 17 countries. Kevin, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. So we are really pleased to have you with us, Kevin. So let's deep dive into the first chapter. We want to talk about a bit young people commitment for sustainable development. According to your experience and your point of view, why do you think that it's important for young people to commit, to be engaged for sustainable development in the world?
Okay, so thank you for the question. Firstly, I think we are not in the past, because today we are all connected with our phones, and also medias are providing information about the real state of our world and what's going on at the other side of the planet. So every children are seeing what is going on today. So the news are full of information like flooding, drought, and everything. And medias are probably talking about no future coming. So as a child or as children, when you are having all those kind of information, I think it gives you an overview about what is waiting for you, or what is the major subject of our current world. So I think on one part, that is what is making young people being committed, because they don't want to see the planet going down. They don't want to be confronted to difficult lives, or they don't want to have their future generation or their children in the future being confronted to difficulties of life. So I think this is firstly what is giving the young people the strength to move forward, and also meet decision makers and push things going on. And also we are also part of a world that we are talking about globalization. Today it is very easy to expand fights, or to expand innovative solutions. So from Togo, for example, you can be seeing what is going on in France, and it is very easy from today to learn from someone at the other part of the planet, or to join someone's fight from the other side of the planet without even being in the same town or in the same local area with the person. So I think this is something to consider. And also the fight of the old people by the past have also facilitate some kind of accessibility to, like, the UN system. For example, today it is there is 20 years ago, it is not very easy for young people to stand at the global level or at the UN systems table to talk, but today it's very easy, and it is very flexible for young people, as even children, to have access, to have badges, to enter into conferences. And we are all watching, we are all following what is going on, and we also have sometimes the flaw. And I think it is good and normal for us to tell what we are feeling, and not being hypocrites and being behind a kind of drought, a kind of tough that we really want to say, and we are not able to say that. So I think it's also for the future. Okay, as I said on the beginning, young people just want to be free today, to live a good life today, to be comfortable today, and also being able to give a good perspective, or to give a good life to their future generation. So I think this is the main subject, and also the sustainable development goals is clearly on that. Is clearly defining this this thematic. It is calling everybody to come on board. It is saying that we shall not leave no one behind. So it is normal that children, young people, and old people, everybody is called to come on board and also to give their thought, to take action, to do something for a better planet. So I think it is normal and good for young people to, to be engaged in sustainable development.
And according to how we have been like right now, do you think that in terms of the 17 sustainable goals, we are in the right path? Are we late? Are we advanced? How do you think that's how do you think it's going?
I got your question. I don't even let you to end, but my answer is no. No, because if you learn reports, okay, every 5 years, they do a kind of advancement report. And if you learn the report, the 2020, normally the last reports should be out in 2020, but I think it has been out in 2021. If you learn that report, you can clearly see that we are not on the good way. We are not going straight in the good way. We are losing the right direction because, the objectives are very ambitious, and big countries or developed countries that have a lot of money in this world today, they are all behind their interests. So we have what we call conflict of interest. They are not really delivering solutions that can help developing countries to upgrade their development rate, or to go forward, to be developed, but they are keeping the system. So today we have a kind of system that we are fighting with, not really states individually. See what is going on actually in Gaza. See what is going on actually. Can you imagine that you have states on the table who have their vetoes, and they just refuse that there will not be a fire, how you call it, cessez-le-feu, a fire out actually in Gaza? Why not? Because so they have their interest, and they are just behind their interest, and they are not really pushing things to be, in the advantage of what the global world is looking for. So I think, the answer again is no, and this is personal. Maybe the UN system should tell you that to be optimist, and that we should overcome. But personally, I don't think that we are going in the good direction. But efforts are going on, and you see a country like Togo, for example, is doing more. Togo is very ambitious when it comes to climate action, but it is very difficult for us as small country to mobilize resources. Okay, why? Because first of all, we are a French-speaking country. It is very difficult for us to how you call it, to have access to some documents or some funding, because the language is not English, and secondly, the country is small, so we don't have the financial rates. Okay, it's not. We don't really have a consumption rate that is very high. So I think all those kind of conditions is is considered when it comes to business, or when it comes to deploy projects in the global south. So I think we have those kind of issues that are not going on our advantage as a developing country.
Okay, so just to finish with that part, I know that you traveled a lot and you visited a lot of countries. So would you say that some young people in other parts of the world are more engaged, or is it equal in every part?
No, it is not equal because when you go in a country like Nigeria, when you go in a country like Ghana, when you go in a country like Morocco, when you go in a country like Kenya, when you go in a country like South Africa, you see young people very active. Why? Because firstly, they understand English and the global language is English. Secondly, because of the living conditions of people in their country. Okay, when you have you have access to in Togo, for example, for example, I have been able to get my A level to go to university before knowing how to call PC. Okay, when you have people don't have access to internet, don't have good access to technology, it is very difficult for them to be really engaged. You can be really you can be engaged at the local level, but sometimes you are not communicating, you are not active on social media, so nobody knows you. So sometimes it also depending on the living conditions of the country or the rates, the development rates of the country for people to be engaged.
That
And
makes
also
sense.
in France, for example, it is very easy because young people, even children, are understanding very easily what is going on because the news are in French for them, and secondly, they also have this opportunity to learn English or to be in contact with English materials, so they keep understanding English at their very young age. So it is very easy for them to be engaged when they come adult or when they becomes young. So I think it's also important to put an accent on this. Me, for example, it has not been very easy for me because I'm from Togo, and as I was saying it, I have I was going to university before knowing what you call PC. So and also the rates in terms of having access to French or understanding and working in French is not very good. Okay, so it takes times, but I think with engagement and also the volunteer to do more than what we were yesterday, we will overcome.
Thank you, Kevin. I want to pick on something you said earlier. You said that Togo was very ambitious, which I agree, and that it was very active against the fight of climate change, when it comes to climate change activism. So I want you to clarify for our general audience. Can you explain a bit what's the general meaning of climate change activism and what measures are you taking in particular in Togo to pursue this action?
Okay, so firstly, why Togo is very ambitious. The government of Togo have committed himself to do more or to go into climate action. Firstly, because they don't have the option, they don't have other option. When you are in a country where people are suffering, people don't really have good incomes, when 60% of the population is farmers and small farmers, and they don't have access to financial resources, credit to upgrade their production, so they don't have good rendement, how do you call it, harvest. They don't have good harvest at the end of their production. So it is very difficult. And for all those reasons, you are obliged to firstly follow what is said at the international level. This is the first thing. Okay, Togo is a good student when it's come to submitting document to the UNFCCC process or pushing things on the ground so that to have results in terms of climate adaptation, climate mitigation, okay? Than a state like France, for example, okay? The last report of France in terms of climate action is not a good report, okay? The developed countries have been committed at the COP of Copenhagen to give $100 billion to the developing countries each year to to fight against climate change. But up to date, the amount of this is just about 17%. Okay, so this is a kind of a blocking condition. There's no option to really do actions. You need funding to really do projects in terms of climate action. You need funding, and also the state of Togo have a lot of problems. We are not just having climate action, climate change as a problem. We have the poverty, as I was talking about. We have health, that is a priority. We have access to energy, that's a priority. We have access to water, what is also priority. We have a lot of things which are priorities at the same moment. But in terms of climate action, what the government of Togo have been doing, I was also criticizing the government by the past, but one day I understand one thing. This was last year. No, in 2021, at the end of the year 2021, and I was invited in each workshops of the NDC's review process, okay? And I have been even committed by the team to follow what's going on climate adaptation and to put it in the reports. And I have been also and even actually I'm a negotiator for the government of Togo, for the delegation that is going to COPs every year to negotiate on adaptation. Okay?
Could you please emphasize a bit on the role of a negotiator? What is it actually?
I'll be coming on it.
Thank you.
So with that document, okay, we have to report on all actions that the government of Togo and the civil society and the enterprises and all the non-etatic actors have been doing so far when it's come to climate action. And guess that we have been doing a lot. We have been doing a lot. I take that document, I compare it to the document of France, and we have been among the first countries to submit our document. I have seen the document of France. It is not really on a good rate. You see the document of all the big polluters. There are some who have even not submitted a document, okay? And we have some project on the ground. Today we have the biggest solar plant in the West Africa region, the solar plant of Blita, okay?
Yeah.
Centrale Solaire de Blita. We have the biggest solar plants when it comes to renewable energy in the West Africa zone. This is 15 megawatt crates of power, and they are even upgrading it to 100 or 150, 50, something like that. I don't have the good information. So just to tell you that, and this is just one. We even have a great platform of a great industrial platform in a village called Adetikope. And there is a lot of things there that are going on. It's a very big consortium platform of enterprises, and mostly international platform, international enterprises, and they are producing things in Togo to export it. But before the installation, I have also read the environment evaluation assessment of this platform, and it was very good. It was very good done. They consider the exploitation of natural resources and everything before starting. So just to tell you, this is just the two big projects that I have idea on, but there's other one. There's a lot of things on the ground. Just to tell you that we are doing a lot. But when it comes to a country like France or other countries, the rate is very low. They are also doing things, but they are doing it in their interest. They are doing it just to, sometimes give money to their enterprises to come and exploit natural resources or oil, gas, and fuel, and it is very, very bad. So this is what I can say when it comes to the ambition of Togo, and also about the role of the negotiator. It's a process, and before entering in the committee, firstly, I think they have been looking on, or they have been seeing me, and they just send you a courier to participate in a workshop or to be part of the committee. And it is not really something that is clarified. You don't have a contract. Actually, I have the possibility to take the floor on behalf of the government of Togo at the UNFCCC table, but I don't have a contract. I don't have nothing. I don't have a document that is giving me the mission. So for this reason, I don't have funding for my trip to the COP. So I usually try to mobilize funding on myself and within my network. And yeah, just to tell you, and also what is done at that table, there is a lot of meeting. There is at least 20 meetings a day. So Togo, the UNFCCC support 2 people from Togo to all the meetings that they are doing. So we have the global meeting, that is the COP, and we have the subsidiary bodies meeting that is going on every year in Bonn in June or May. So the UNFCCC just give funding to 2 people from Togo. So those funding are going to the UNFCCC focal point of Togo, and also the Directorate of Environment from Togo. So yeah, as somebody coming from the civil society part, you cannot, expecting to get this funding. And also sometimes there are enterprises or partners that are supporting other people to join the delegation, but it is not really something open for everyone. But it's a good experience anyway. But also what is done at that table is there are a lot of meetings a day. So the one thing is to be focused on one subject. If you are following negotiations on adaptation, you need to be focused on adaptation. If you are following negotiations on agriculture, you need to be focused on agriculture, energy, water, mitigation. So those are the subjects during the COP, and you cannot be following all because sometimes you just have 2 or 3 meetings on the same subject going on at the same time. You have informal consultation, you have a general meeting, so you need to be focused and also have a kind of agenda before going on. And what is also good is I think actually it is possible to follow the COPs online, but I'm not sure that you can have access to close meetings. You can have access to opening meeting, opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies and general consultations, but not
Okay.
on the closed meeting.
Okay.
So basically,
thank you, Kevin.
this is all.
Thank you very much. Actually, we have 5 minutes left. So, Melissa, if you want to go for the next chapter, which focuses specifically on the work of OJEDD in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now that we have a clear overview of the climate change activism, role of negotiator, conference of parties, let's deep dive into the current case of OJEDD in Africa and in Togo. What does OJEDD stand for? How many people are there, and for how long have you been acting?
Okay, so we are born in June 2027. No, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The aim is to promote climate action at citizens level, at communities level, at municipalities level, and also at the government level. So the negotiation game, okay,
Mm-hmm.
participating to the negotiation game is a support to government, okay, but during all the process, all is going to the community. Why? Because within the community, we have everybody within the community. The local communities, everybody is coming from the local communities. So helping the local communities to improve their living conditions, I think it is something that everybody from Togo or from the global south will be stand for. So this is what we are doing. We are doing to help the local communities to change their living condition, to upgrade their living condition.
Tell us some specific actions that you have been doing there.
Actually, we are working on waste management to biogas. So this is a waste to energy project that we are holding on in Adetikope. We have some key actions that is to collect the waste and also to have a platform to transform it and then to do methanization to produce biogas with that. We are also supporting the municipality of Aguen-Ivecat in Togo. That's called how you call it, public copy, to improve the risk in terms of the natural risk in terms of flooding.
So this is just one example of what you are able to do. And we also want to know, how do you measure OJEDD action impact on achieving the SDGs? Do you have like some specific KPIs or report or?
Okay, so thank you for the question. We are a very small organization. Even the biggest organization, the big NGO, have difficulties in terms of information collection, treatment, in terms of fading the SDG gaps. So what we know already is that we are improving the life condition of people on the ground. If we are able to provide them water supply, we know that we achieve SDG 6 there, but not in total, because the SDGs are very transversal. We have sometimes subject joining on. So we can be working on energy, and then we provide water. So but in terms of development, it is very difficult to take every objectives target by target, because all we are looking for at the end of the day is the improving of the living conditions of the rural people or the people at the local level. So it is very difficult to have a kind of canvas that
measure
should
it.
be so that is not our job. I think the institute, the research institutes, are doing that job already, and I even have a video that I can share with you. They are doing a kind of a simulation and things to have modelization, but this is not our job. Our job is to provide condition and to see if we are on the good and right way. We ask the communities to tell us if we are doing well, and above what they are saying on about what the information we collect from them, we try to improve what we are doing. their living.
That's a good approach. That's a good approach because collecting information can sometimes be a heavy task. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Now, I mean, you have been explaining a lot of ways to get involved with this, but still, to close the episode, I would like to ask you, how can our audience engage with an improvement in this field? This covers everyone. This covers public institutions, citizens, Togolese people from outside. How can our audience engage with an improvement in this field?
Okay. The first thing is to think about local communities everywhere you are. I was in Togo before. Actually, I relocated to France, but it is not a blocking conditions for me to not thinking about the communities we have been working with so far. And I'm still thinking about projects on the local level. So I think it is normal for me to think about them, and I'm also trying to do my best to improve their conditions. So I think everybody can do that. We are collecting donations sometimes on projects. So if there are people that want to give back to the community or help the community to improve their living conditions, you can put our informations and they will be able to contact us so that to do their to make their donations. Thank you very much.